Hey guys, it's me, Verilyn, coming to you again from my parents' bedroom. I came to see them after Rise Up Radio, which, if you don't know, Rise Up Radio is a show I do every Friday from 7 to 8 on WBAI 99.5 FM. I don't know if you saw my eyelid looking for, like, okay, where's the camera? I'm doing it this time just with my iPhone video camera. The app that I was using yesterday, Capture, actually quit on me. So I started doing this video and then it just like unexpectedly closed and shut down, and I'm not having it. So I'm just gonna do my regular video camera. And now it is 11:22 p.m. I know my parents are gonna wanna come back to their bedroom pretty soon, so this will be quick. I just like this room because it has the best lighting, and I don't. Anyway, so today I kind of wanted to talk about my show, which I would definitely put the link of it in the description once I get to a desktop where I can do that. But until then, I'll just let you know who came on. We had a woman, Tajay, I hope I'm saying your name right, from Stand in Our Power, and also another woman, Kathleen, from Progressive Communicators Network. And they both came together. They're both part of Spirit in Action, which is another organization that kind of brings different women, social justice organizations together. And they're all doing this conference, which is taking place tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Hostess College. And I'm definitely going to try to check this out. It looks like it's going to be amazing. And it's all about women of color, the media, and bringing together, like producing media with the... So we always complain about the images and everything about women of color, right? Oh my gosh, these are the messages that we're getting. And so this conference is going to kind of talk about solutions to that. So one of the things that I think is really cool is that they're having media makers come and like talk to the organizations and kind of start bridging those relationships. So if you can check this out, I hope they have like some live video streaming going on, so those that aren't necessarily able to go to the Bronx and host this can definitely check it out. But one of the things that was brought to my attention before the show was Tajay's article on her website. I'm assuming it's siop.com or .org. Stop in Our Power. Just Google that. It's on their website in the blog section. And let's see, I'm trying to see whether I can. Yeah, it's probably like SIOP. The problem is I copied and pasted and put it into a Word doc in order to save paper, so I don't have like the website on the top. But her piece was so good. It was called Leaning In and Standing in Our Power. And she basically was just talking about, so Lean In, which I've talked about on this blog several times, book by Sheryl Sandberg, Leaning In, Women, Work, and the Will to Lead. And she talked about how when she first heard about it and first heard like the COO of Facebook was just telling women to lean in, how she thought like, who is this woman, this 1% feminist that's like appealing to things that are not going to apply to me, right? She said, yeah, as a woman of color, it took me a while to embrace sorry, it's another part. I highlighted this whole entire document, so it's hard. Sometimes when you highlight too much, it's almost as if not highlighting anything because you're just like looking at everything all over again. But that's how good it is. I definitely encourage it. It made me feel like I want to go back to school. Like, that's that idea of like reading something that goes in so many different directions and being inspired by all of it. I need to do more of that. And also reading on the train and highlighting is something I did a lot in my college years. But one thing that she talked about that I kind of brought up on the show today and I want to talk about now is the idea of being superwoman, right? So for a lot of women of color and women in general, being superwoman is something that is a compliment, is something that we appeal to, is something that that's like the goal, right? You want to be superwoman, you want to be able to juggle it all. And is it really a compliment? I kind of think that I want to be able to do enough. I don't want to ever have to feel like I have to do it all. And that's one of the things she kind of brings up in her piece and saying like, she said, I was at once a very proud of being a She said, I was once very proud of the Superwoman nickname given to me by one of my mentors and struggling to keep up with it. She said that more women of color gain leadership positions, particularly in multiracial, multigender, and across class organizations. We are expected to continue to use leadership practices that are the norm, practices that have often been constructed by white males. So the superwoman ideal that we're all trying to keep up with especially as women of color, is almost impossible because there are a lot of, I don't want to say privilege, but there are a lot of things in place for other groups that we don't have access to. So we're actually trying to appeal to something that doesn't exist. And that's why we get so burnt out. And that's why, you know, one of the things she talked about is like the younger generation and not being able to encourage, like, what is it called, move up. Like, the leadership gap is existing because young women are looking at us and they're seeing that these women are burnt out and looking crazy, and they're saying, you know what, I don't want any part of that. So just trying to find something that is like good enough without being crazy. And that's something that, you know, I think as a freelancer, you kind of have the learning curve comes really quickly. I will never forget one day I was the time I was doing my podcast, and I was doing my podcast every week in addition to working and freelancing and my nonprofit, like everything I'm doing now, but also I was doing a weekly podcast that was definitely, it was like 30 minutes long, and it was definitely very involved, very editing, and it was about maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That was like the norm for me to work to that hour, and my brain, like literally my eyes closed and I leaned back, and luckily I was like sitting on my futon, so I didn't have far to fall back, but I feel like my brain was catching sleep. Like, it was just a moment of like, I'm taking it. You don't want to give me sleep, I'm gonna take it. And like, I started Googling and talking about like how you can die from like sleep deprivation, and that was the moment that I said, no, it's never gonna be that serious for me. And since then I've definitely closed my laptop and gone to bed whenever I feel like I'm just too tired. And, you know, for some that might be like, oh, well, you're just not working as hard. And, you know, we hear, you know, there's another guy on YouTube that I definitely, and I'm very inspired by him, but he says you have to want it more than you want to breathe. Right? And that was the mode that I was on. Like, you want to want success more than you want to breathe. You know, he literally says, some of you, he was talking to a group of students, he says, some of you want success, but you're not even willing to sacrifice sleep. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I could sacrifice sleep. And that's what I was going with. And I decided after that moment that there has to be a line. Yeah, I work hard. I love working hard. I love feeling like I'm accomplishing something and being productive. You know, every show I'm like, today was a productive day. Like, that is always my goal, but I think there needs to be a balance. So this Superwoman, you know, their songs, Alicia Keys telling us, I am Superwoman, right? Not necessarily cute, in my opinion. So that's the question of the day. Do you think, are you trying to be Superwoman? And if not, what age, where were you? When did you decide that being Superwoman was not the goal? And what is the goal then? I say somewhere in the lines of just enough. Like, you're doing enough. You're not slacking. Like, I think there's a difference between slacking and trying to be Superwoman. Like, there's some gray area, and I guess that's what I'm gonna be trying to figure out in this time that I have now. Is like, okay, well, how do I achieve everything that I want to achieve and not go crazy at the same time? You know, definitely looking for that husband that can help me put together. Like, the other day, we were putting together a cabinet, me and my good friend Diana and Alexis, who was actually on my video blog about 2 blogs ago, and we were putting it together. It took us about an hour and change to put it together. And I just kept thinking in my head, like, this is not the life. I need a man to come do this for me. I mean, not to say you need a man to do everything, but it would be nice, like, you not to have to worry about something like that. Like, even when I first moved in, my ex-boyfriend put up all my blinds. I didn't have to worry about that crap. He saw the blinds, they needed to be put up, and he put them up. That's okay by me. It's not about being Superwoman. It's about being able to juggle everything and putting things in place to get things done. You still, you know, even if you're a woman of the house and you have maids or you have help, you're juggling all that crap, right? So I think that's okay, which is what I'm appealing for. Anyway, it is 9:27. It's also 11:30 p.m. I know my parents probably are waiting outside the door listening to me do this video blog, trying to get back in here. So I am not going to keep you guys any longer. Let me know what you think. What is Superwoman? What do you consider? Is that your goal, right? And let me know. All right. Peace out. And again, I'm going to try to figure out how to turn this off.